Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zhong, the owner of Zhong No Cage Fighting Series, coming in March 26th. And right next to me, I have Ciaran Saunders, officially signed today. Will be competing on our upcoming event. Very close for him to reach the title shot on the amateur league for the bantamweight division. So now he has a very tough opponent in front of him. It's a 135 pounds, 4-0 is undefeated. But let's introduce you to the fight fan again. The last time I saw you fight was August of last year, right?
Yeah, August 28th.
So that was almost about 6 months.
About 6 months, yeah.
About 6 months.
Yeah.
So first of all, how you been, Ciaran?
I'm doing well, still training away, working away, doing...
You are a plumber now, right?
Oh no, electrician.
Electrician?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, that's good,
Yeah. Apprentice.
Apprentice?
Yeah.
How many more years become journeyman?
A while. A few more, at least 3 or 4.
Are you doing the union or private contractor?
Right now, he's just private contractor with Wells Electric, like one of the local companies around San Francisco.
That's good. Well, electrician, I think, is probably a better trade than plumbing. Yeah. I think it's a better trade than a carpenter. They get paid a little bit more and a little bit less wear and tear on your body. I think.
Yeah, you don't have to be knee-deep in shit.
Yeah, I was a local 22 as a carpenter, a framer. Yeah. And man, I did about 2 years, and it's like really fuck your body up. Your body take a damage on that. So now I always say one of the most exciting Irish I have on my card. Every time Ciaran Saunders on the card, that the stadium is going to be electrified. So let's talk a little bit about what is going on the last few months. You coming off that win. You skipped one of my events, and now you're coming back. What's been going through live and everything for the last 6 months?
I came down with a bit of staph infection just before the fight. So the last fight that you had the last fight card. So I was a little bit, sick, and the weight wouldn't have been a problem, but I wasn't, in fight shape to like jump in and fight, some guy that's supposedly he was a striker, and he was decent, Muay Thai guy. So I just didn't feel like confident enough to, have the conditioning. I'm always going to be confident in my skills. I think I can beat anybody on any given day. But, conditioning is probably, if you're not conditioned, there's, not a good, exactly, and it's not a good idea to go in and fight when you're not physically fit. You can be mentally fit. That's the big thing, always being mentally fit, but physical is also a huge factor.
Huge factor, yes. Yeah. Now this upcoming fight against Jonathan Burdick, he's coming off a 4-0, and this is probably by far, I think, the toughest guy on that I have in the resume for you to challenging. You 3-0, he's 4-0, 2 undefeated fighter. One of them is gonna have a first loss.
Someone's always got to go.
Yes. So now.
Not mine.
By what you're watching him fight, what do you see that he has a hole for you to penetrate?
I mean, like he's obviously got the length and the reach on me. That's very fucking obvious. But I think, I will be a lot faster than him. I'm more explosive, and he says he wants to take me down. Even if he tried to take me down, I don't think he'd be able to get me down to the floor without leaving something open. I think the grappling goes on my hand, and his striking, I don't know if he's a striker. He's an MMA fighter, so he's a bit of both. But he's long, but he's not like very fast. I think I could catch him with some punches, some kicks. I could catch him thinking I'm going for one thing and I go for the other. It's a fight. You can't say, I'm gonna focus on this one thing. I'm gonna focus on the strikes, because that's when you leave yourself open for other stuff. So I mean, like Mike Tyson says, everyone has a game plan until you get hit in the fucking face. But
that's absolutely true.
I'm gonna fight wherever the fight goes, and whatever happens.
I know you've been a brown belt for a year.
I think like maybe a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. I don't know.
You've been a brown belt for
a little bit,
quite some time. So probably like a milestone away being a black belt. So on the grappling department, I know he does no-gi, so I can't really rank him like what belt he is at.
I heard he's a blue belt, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I always say, like some people say, oh, he's a black belt, but he's never trained in the gi. I mean, the gi it doesn't matter. When you saw Hickson and all of those guys fighting, very rarely were they fighting in a gi. I always think it's down to your grappling. It shows when you fight or when you compete. You can be the best jiu-jitsu grappler in the gi, and then you come across a guy that's very good in no gi, and he might be purple belt, brown belt, whatever. Belts don't mean shit, I always say that. It just holds your pants together. It covers 2 inches of your ass, and you've got to cover the rest. So, I mean, I might be higher ranked than him in belt, but you never know. He might have something up his sleeve, but I will be 100% ready for whatever he has to throw at me, whether it's punches, kicks, knees, or fucking takedowns, submission attempts. It doesn't matter, I'll always be bulletproof in there.
Now, you fighting in 135 pound.
Yeah.
What do you walk around weight?
Sure. It all depends on how training's going. Like back before I started doing electrical work, and before I know I'm only 24 and I'm still young, but when I was a little bit younger and a little bit more immature, I wouldn't eat very right. I'd eat fucking whatever I wanted. Cheeseburger, donuts, whatever. A lot of fattening shit. So I could get up there, but I won't be the fittest. I won't look the best. So I mean,
you look more fit right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I've been. Well, I mean, I'm not watching my weight, but I'm training and I'm working. I'm training and I'm working. So I'm not overly big, but right now I'm about, I'd say 150. 145. I range from 148 to 150. With all the water and food inside me. But I'm always a little bit underweight when I weigh in. I think that's just the way I cut the weight. Obviously I could make 125, which I possibly will be in the future, maybe pro or even amateur if there's a belt involved. But
definitely.
Yeah, definitely down in the future I see myself fighting at 125. But I'm doing well at 135, so why change anything right now?
Yeah. So how much longer do you think you're gonna keep doing the amateur?
It all depends on I was talking about it a while ago. Fitness, 2 minutes to 3 minutes is not a huge thing, not a huge gap, huge jump, yeah. But 3 to 5 minutes is a lot more. Is very big. It's very big because obviously in amateur there's the rules. There's no heel hooks. There's no elbows to the hell. There's no knees.
No knees.
So you kind of have in your head I don't have to worry about that, so you're fine. But then when it comes to pro, you get worried. Everything. So you might not be getting them, but that's in your mind and that's making you more tired. So I mean, once I'm ready, I feel like the pro style would suit my style a little bit better. But I'm not gonna jump into the pro leagues until I'm physically ready. Mentally, I'll always be bulletproof. I'll always have a very strong mindset. That's the most important thing. If you don't have a strong mind, you can be the most athletic, fucking best striker, grappler, this, that, whatever. But if you have one little thing in the back of your head that's bothering you, you're gonna meet a very bad end. You'll be waking up looking at the lights.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, so when you go pro, is that for sure you think you're gonna stay in the 135 or go down to 125?
I mean, obviously I have the body and height wise of a 25er, but I mean I've seen pros that are same height as me, maybe a little bit taller. For example, TJ Dillashaw. I met TJ Dillashaw once.
He's about the same size as you.
Yeah, I met him at a Bellator event and we were eye to eye. Not saying I'm gonna fight the guy anytime soon, but he's like my height, but obviously he's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So I would have to, in order for me to fight at 135 pro against the elite guys, I would probably have to put on a little bit of size, muscle, not lean muscle, not bulk, not bulkiness, but lean, where I'm a little bit bigger, I can throw my size around. Because even up amateur, there are still some, for example, Jonathan. He's a tall guy, but I think I'll be a little bit, bigger.
You're denser.
Denser, yeah. I'm a little bit more of a.
He's
tall, long, and lanky, and I'm a little barrel,
yeah,
a little stump. But No, yeah, I think if I was to go pro, bit of both, unless the 35ers at pro are like just too much for me,
Now this fight's important because originally your teammate's supposed to be fighting for the belt, and
Yeah.
they end up, have to pull out due to some type of injury. So, and you and Jonathan, I'm putting this fight as a contender. Whoever wins this fight will probably gonna get a shot on the next rank.
Belt, yeah.
At least Jeremy comes back, your teammate comes back, want to reclaim the crown. Then we'll figure something out eventually. But you definitely like in the top bantamweight in the Bay Area. I would say the top bantamweight in Northern California. You are definitely one of the people.
Up there. I keep my eye on the rankings. There's some guys. There's some guys that are decent up there.
Yes, everybody having a conversation of the bantamweight division. Your name is definitely around
up there. Yeah.
So now, do you have anybody that in the Bay Area, whether it's pro or amateur, that you think like, I like to fight that guy someday, or you think that would be stylistically good for me to fight? You have anybody in your radar that you wanted?
I mean, obviously, there's definitely whoever has a belt. I know Jonathan said that in his interview. Whoever has a belt, whoever has a belt, whatever makes the most sense. I'm not gonna fight some guy that like has a dozen kick or Muay Thai fights and maybe 1 or 2 MMA fights. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I want a belt, maybe 2.
Yeah.
One for this shoulder, one for that shoulder, and then go to pro. We'll see. But work has to be done. I'm not looking ahead. I'm looking what's in front of me, and Jonathan's in front of me. I'm gonna fucking go through him like a hot knife through butter.
Well, this is definitely a very, very high-profile fight. I mean, it's crazy because Jonathan, technically, he hasn't been involved in the MMA game.
Not long.
Not long. He just fight once a month for the
Which is good. It's good and it's bad. I was a little bit worried when he said he was fighting this month. I thought he was actually fighting tomorrow, which will be Saturday the 26th.
Yeah.
Like kind of having with my last opponent. I figured out when I was there, I was cornering my buddy, Frankie, and I hear, oh yeah, fucking so-and-so's fighting. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to fight that guy in a month. Why is he fighting? He ends up getting cut, getting injured, blah blah blah. Anything, shit happens. It's a fight game, but I'm glad that he's healthy and that he got the dub. So it makes it a little bit more interesting than 2 undefeated fighters instead of like one guy that has 1 X on a loss.
Yeah,
which is good. It'll be a good matchup. But I'm not talking shit or anything, but I don't think he is the hardest puzzle to solve that I've fought. He's definitely has a few more attributes as in height and length, but in my experience, my last fight I had met a little bit of adversity with Kevin. He caught me. He caught me. What it didn't hurt is just me making a silly mistake. Shooting in for his legs, and he did the right things. He angled out, and instead of my fucking dumbass moving away, I followed him. I was looking at his feet, and I fucking followed him. And then he clapped me with a fucking punch. But I was up, and I was right on him. But I think the most difficult fight that I had was Christo. I know he's had like a rough start, but he was hard I couldn't touch him, it was hard to hit, and he came from a big camp, and I knew he was with some really high caliber fighters, UFC, Bellator, won, and then on top of that, losing to someone that younger than me, that would just be like, fuck, he's only 18, 19, he beat my ass, but I mean, I think he was probably the harder piece of the puzzle to solve, because I couldn't touch him, and he was tough to take down at first, but I think this will be a good matchup for me against Jonathan, because he's not fast, he's not super fast, he's not super explosive like Kevin was, but he's tall, long, and lanky. So I gotta get inside, get in on top of him, and just make him uncomfortable, and make it a dog fight. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be technical fight, but who knows? We'll see.
Interesting fight.
What is it? March 26th.
Yeah.
We'll see.
4 weeks from now.
4 weeks.
4 weeks to exactly tomorrow. You guys gonna be weighing and then get in the cage, and it's gonna be Rumble.
Yeah.
So now, if people want to get a hold of you, how can people contact you, Ciaran?
You can find me on Instagram at Ciaran_Saunders_MMA. You can find me there. DM me. I have my Facebook, but I don't like keep an eye on it all the time, so you can message me there, or call one of the gyms that I train at, either Charles Gracie San Mateo on 25th Avenue. My Professor Cristiano, or one of the people that work there will answer the phone. You can get a hold of them, or over in Bay Area Fight Academy in Hayward with Eric or one of his workers. Just let them know, and I'll leave a ticket there, or we can arrange some meetup.
That's awesome. Like, do you have anyone you want to shout out to, sponsor your company?
My CBD sponsorship, Fightback CBD, based out of Austin, Texas, and Rev Gear, wherever they're based out of, somewhere in SoCal. Those, and I'm always looking for new sponsorships. Whether it's a financial sponsorship, a little bit of money to help me out with my supplements and meal preps, or even a meal prep sponsorship that helps me with my meals throughout fight camp and yada yada yada. Anything, every little helps.
Anyone you want to shout out to, like a special coach, training partner?
Obviously my coaches, Cristiano, Eric. I've started working with this Muay Thai specialist that's from Scotland, another Scots fella. His name's Paul. I don't know his last name. We just call him Scottish Paul.
Scottish Paul.
He's a serious Muay Thai expert. Yeah,
Where does he train at?
He's a very mystical guy. He's here and then he's not there, and then he's out. So I train with him over at B Street.
Like a ninja.
Yeah, a Scottish one. Him. I've been working with him a little bit. Mainly Eric and stuff on my pad work, and my pad work and striking and conditioning and all that.
Now, if your opponent, Jonathan Burdick, watching this interview, what do you have to say to Jonathan?
Someone's always gotta go. I hope you really want to keep that O.
That's gonna cause a little bit of prediction for all the fans out there.
Like I say, it's like having the same interview every time. I don't like to say, I'm going to finish him in this round or this round. I don't predict these things. I just let the fight blossom. I let it, happen itself. So, if it happens, it happens. If I see the opportunity, the opening, I will take it.
Now, this is a very, very big fight for you, because besides he's undefeated, this is going to be the first fight you don't have to wear a machine guard.
Oh, yeah.
And you're also doing a 3-minute round.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
Yeah, I'm always sparring. When we're sparring or doing whatever, it's always 3 minutes. So, I like last fight when me and Kevin were going at it, I might have looked tired. I'd have to look at the fight again. I wasn't tired. I feel like my condition was pretty good. Maybe it's just me getting used to the first fight. I was gassed. I was tired because of all the anxiety and the lights and the noise. But no, I think I know how to pace myself. I'm a little bit more used to the big lights and the crowd. I don't know how Jonathan will handle the crowd. He looks like a game guy. I have to say one thing. He did make me. He's a goofy fucker. He's goofy, but he's funny. Like, he made me laugh when some of the shit he was saying. But not gonna stop me from tearing his fucking head off his shoulders. But no, he's 4-0 for a reason. Yeah. He's active, which is good. But I don't know. He's never fought an Irishman.
From Conor McGregor's hometown.
Yeah. That always plays a factor. It always plays a factor, no matter who you are.
I always have a vision. One day you get big enough to make a noise and shout, and I will hope Conor McGregor notice who you are and maybe even come support you.
Maybe one day.
One day. I always have the thought. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Shout out to Conor McGregor. Make sure. Now the Irish are making some noise in San Francisco. Now, this event is, make sure you guys subscribe my YouTube channel and follow my Instagram, Dragon_House_MMA. And this event's live stream pay-per-view nationwide. So if you cannot make it to the event, making sure you guys order the pay-per-view voucher from DragonHouseMMA.com. All different devices, phones, laptop, TV, you can order watching the event. Making sure you guys show some love and support and get a ticket from Ciaran Saunders himself and show some support for all the local fighters. For this upcoming fight card layout, check out DragonHouseMMA.com. We're gonna update the website probably the next day or two. All the fight layout is gonna be gradually put up on the website. So I can't wait to watching this young man and bring his electrified status back to Kezar Pavilion. And March 26th, and make sure you guys do not miss it out. Any last word you want to say to anyone else?
No, that's it. That's about it, I think.
That's about it. And love that accent too, by the way. I kept trying to learn some of the accent. I just can't. But, you got to come from Irish to get that accent. So we look forward to seeing fight. How active do you want to be after March 26th? Are you looking to fight May 28 too?
Possibly. I think I'm going back to Ireland right after the fight, like April, or could be the beginning of May or end of April for my granny's 80th birthday. You know, you only get one of those, so.
How long are you gonna go back to hometown?
I'd say at least 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks. I don't know, something like that. Not too long. I can't take too much time off work, but yeah, no, it's been a while since I went back home, so I'd like to go back. But
do they have to quarantine or anything?
I don't think so. No, I think as long as you're vaccinated and you have a place to stay, you're good.
I know you can't go to Asia right now. Everywhere you go is, you know, China's 28-day quarantine, and a lot of other countries 14 to 21-day quarantine. So it's like almost impossible even for me to go back to my hometown, see my folks. But, you know, that's part of the pandemic. We have to deal with it, you know. Sounds good. All right, brother. Good to have you on board again.
Yep.
We'll see you guys March 26th. I'm Zhong signing out.